Hello everyone, this is once again Parwez Bughio on my YouTube channel, and today we have very interesting topic. This topic is related to linguistics and for all the English language teachers, those who are teaching English language. Today we will talk about English language teaching, that is also referred in short form ELT, English language teaching. And in English language teaching, today we will focus on what are the methods and approaches for teaching English language. There are different types of methods and approaches that we English language teachers do follow every day. But sometimes we do not know what method and approach are we following. Because the reason is most of our English language teachers are following the method of their teachers, the way their teacher used to teach English language, and not knowing the methods, but even then they are following some methods. So today we will see in details what actually the methods are. The first one is grammar translation method, which is a traditional method of teaching English language. In grammar translation method, which is referred as a GTM, grammar translation method, focuses more on translating from mother tongue to English language. And we see in our tradition that most of the teachers only focus on teaching language through translating method, which has a lot of flaws because it does not improve our language fluency. For example, if somebody asks me, sir, what's your name? And I say, well, my name is. Now you cannot translate the expression, well, my name is. So it is full of flaws, but it is followed in Pakistan. The second way is bilingual method. Bilingual method is the sub branch of grammar translation method. Bi means two, having two languages. From one language we focus on to other language, from mother tongue to English language, from English language to your mother tongue. We keep focusing on translating the sentences either in the written form or in the spoken form. Number third is direct method. Now direct method, which is referred as a DM, that means without link of mother tongue. Without the link of mother tongue. The teacher does not use the mother language, right, that is the mother tongue or native language of the speaker, but he focuses more on English language. He just speaks English to them and does not give any translating word for your mother tongue. That is called the direct method, where only teacher focuses in the language he is supposed to teach. Number four, the structural approach that most of our English language teachers do follow every day in the classes. The structural approach actually focuses on arranging words to form correct sentences. That means they are more focused on the grammar, their rules and regulation in order to write and produce correct form of sentences. They are rule based, or in other words we also may call them, they are teaching the prescriptive grammar, the rule based language, and their focus is more on the rules and regulation of grammar. Number five, we have situational approach, which is very interesting. Sometimes I do follow also. In situational approach we have real situation and artificial situation. In this method, the teacher is supposed to give some sort of activities or role plays to the students, and sometimes they are in real situation. For example, if I have the group of doctors and they want to learn English, so I will be using their terms, their technology, their vocabulary, their situation, teacher and patient, right, the doctor and the patient's communication, how do you prescribe the medicine, how do you take history of the patient, and sometimes it is artificial situation. By artificial situation means involving students in certain situations where you give them the role to play and use the language. For example, if I ask the students that today you are a teacher and somebody becomes a student, sometimes you may call a student to become a police officer and there is one robber. So you give them artificial situation so that they may use the language. Sometimes it is, for example, if there are cricketers only and you are going to train them in English language, so that will focus more on their terminologies used in cricket, so that they have to understand in their own profession what is to use in their circumstances. Number 6 is oral approach, which is mostly followed by the teachers of English language. The oral approach means talking with the students, sharing experience with the students, sitting with them in group or pair work, where teacher is a mediator and asks the questions and everybody involves into the conversation. That approach is a very good approach, honestly, when students are involved in the class, which focuses more on not a teacher-based classroom, but students-based classroom or activity-based classroom. Number 7, we have total physical response. By total physical response, that is short form as a TPR, where teacher himself gives 100% to the students to teach them English language. And it is mostly observed in our nursery, KG classes or 1 to 3, where teacher uses certain expressions, body language, to teach the language. For example, run, and then he does like this. I play cricket, I bowl, or clapping. Or sometimes there are poems where teachers physically give response to the students. Clap your hands, and walk, talk, ball, look, and certain expressions when teacher gives in the classroom, that we refer as a total physical response, where the teacher is always giving the response through the facial expressions or his physical actions in order to teach English language. Then we have audio-lingual method, which comes from the theory of behaviorism, which is the best known approach in linguistics, that we learn through imitation, we learn through reinforcement, we learn through copying the elders. So audiolingual method, it is concerned with our listening. The more we listen to good English, and the more they think that the students will learn. I do follow this method as well. In the class, we have certain book format, we have transcript, and I ask the students to listen to the English and copy the same or say the same loudly. And they both go parallel, listening to English and saying the same thing, listening and copying, listening and imitating. That method was worldwide famous, but now it has some flaws, but even then it does help students. Those who are native speakers of Sindhi or Urdu, they need the exposure of native speakers of English language, and audiolingual method may help them to improve their pronunciation especially. Then we have Suggestopedia. By Suggestopedia means when the students are at ease, relaxed, happy, and the things they learn unconsciously. We create such an atmosphere of the class where we may not have board, marker or formal sitting, the way they like to sit, the way they want to communicate. The teacher is to make them at ease, giving them the natural atmosphere for learning. And by talking, sitting with them and sharing experiences with them, slowly and gradually they do learn English language, but they are not consciously there for learning. Unconsciously they learn so many things. Then we have natural approach. Natural approach is more like how do we learn our first language. For example, how did we learn our first language? We listened from our mothers, our surrounding, our parents, our brothers, sisters, the atmosphere available. The way we learn our first language slowly from word to sentences, sentences to phrases, from very basics, the way we created our mind for the first language, the same strategy is followed fine, and it follows the method of Christian's model of learning, and it says the way we learn first language, there are some terms to use: acquisition and learning. For example, there is a difference when we learn things, which is acquisition and learning. Acquisition, which is unconscious learning. Learning hypothesis says that when you are conscious to learn something. There is a monitor hypothesis, the natural hypothesis, the input hypothesis, the affective filter hypothesis. This is the theory given by Stephen Christian for first language, and it is applicable for the second language. The way we learn first language, we must create such an atmosphere in the class that the students should learn themselves the language. That approach is called a natural approach. And the last and the best of all, and my favorite one, is communicative approach, which is also referred as a communicative language teaching. In short form, we call CLT. It says speech and actions are given importance. Communicative method focuses more on the usage of language, whether it's a listening, speaking, reading, or writing. We must be able to communicate, or our language should be communicative. For example, how to interact or communicate in the reading form when we are reading, what the text interact with us or communicates with us. Number two, when the speaker speaks to us in English, how do we infer and understand the meaning? How does the speaker's knowledge communicates with us? In writing form, how to communicate through writing, and when it is speaking, how to use language. So these days, worldwide famous method to follow in English language is communicative language teaching or communicative approach. I am sure we do not follow only one method. And I, especially me myself, cannot claim that I only follow this method or that method or this method or that method. Actually, we people in Pakistan follow the mixed approach of language. Sometimes we have translation, sometimes bilingual, sometimes direct method to teach, a structural approach, situational approach, sometimes giving them role plays, oral approach for learning, teaching, total physical response. In other words, I would appreciate my new language teachers, those who want to prosper in the field of English language teaching. I would suggest them to follow the mixed approach of language teaching. You should not be rigid to follow one method of English language, but there are various approaches and methods to follow. I am sure this video will be helpful for my students of linguistics, for especially their subject ELT, English language teaching, and this video more focuses on for the teachers of English, that what methods should they follow and what are the methods in English language. I am sure this video would help you. Please watch this video, share this video, and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.